See, I used to watch those DVDs all the time, you know, the Halo 2 limited edition, the limited edition with the Steelbook. I don't know if anybody else was doing the Steelbooks back then. I remember owning that and I was blown away. I was like, oh my God, a metal video game case. I was so involved with my Xbox. It was everything to me growing up. So that was my first introduction into the video game world. I mean, I remember growing up, I thought I was going to be I wanted to be a concept artist because I had the Making of Halo 2 book and it had like, I'm going to butcher his name, but it was Shai Kai, I think it was Wong. He was like the lead concept artist for Halo 2, and I remember I would just read that book over and over and over again. I would try and copy all the artwork inside of it. I loved it. But yeah, that documentary was my first foray into that world, because in the Halo 2 one, they explained E3. That was my, 2000, I think that was like 2003 E3. I was like, holy crap. And then I was hanging out with my cousin one day, and then he introduced me to the channel G4 Tech TV, and that just consumed my life. And well, that was it, man. That was the defining moment in young Brett's life. Halo, Xbox, and G4 Tech TV. That was it. So, it's significant that Bungie's really, like, that's it. It's gone. It's crazy. It's like BioWare. There's tons of companies, man, that we grew up with, and they're just shells are outright gone. And it's like, I feel like Bungie with Halo and all of that, like, it really had a serious impact on my life. I know I'm being a little, I don't want to say dramatic with it. Maybe it doesn't matter to anybody, or maybe people would be like, why does it matter so much, or how can something like that have such an impact? But man, I was invested. I was invested in the people that worked at the company. I was invested in the company. I was invested in their games, the work, all of it, So E3 2006 with Halo 3, and then with Halo Reach, then with Destiny, like it mattered to me. Like I felt personally invested because I'd watched all the documentaries and the behind the scenes and the Vidocs that they did. And then even, as a pillar of this channel, like that's a core pillar of, it's influenced my writing. I'm not even going to get into that in this video. That's Joseph Staten there, but there's just some really impactful things that Bungie did. So I was thinking last night, it's probably a little too emotional last night with it, but I can put like any type of defining moment, any type of significant moment in my life, I can attribute to a time and a place in the video game industry where I was. Like, it's all, like, my brain doesn't hold on to dates and times. It's like, well, when did this game launch and where was I corresponding to that? So it, they had such a profound impact on my life. And then even with the early works, again, 2004, 2005, with the Trojan series of armor that my dad was doing, I started to influence him because of what Bungie did with the Master Chief. And then, YouTube started taking off in 2007, I have no idea, 2007, 2008, and everything he did, that's what it was all labeled, real life Halo armor. Like, he was the guy doing it, man. It was huge. It really mattered to me. It mattered to us. So seeing, Marathon and just everything that Bungie does now, it's a shell. It kind of has a more significant impact on what I was saying earlier, talking about, I'm turning 33, and normally I don't think about, that I don't know, nothing lasts forever. That things don't stay the same. And then it's almost like I've been dealing with this with fighting lately. You know what I mean? You'll have the eras of the UFC and even sports teams, whether it's the NHL, whatever. Maybe the team's terrible, maybe the fighter's terrible, and then they get good, or they're amazing, and they win the Stanley Cup, or they win a belt, and then they fall off eventually because nobody can stay consistent and the same. It's not something that's going to happen. And you don't think about it. We'll use, I don't know, man, who recently... I don't know, I saw it's always Tony Ferguson, right? There's always a Tony Ferguson memes. At one point, Tony Ferguson was the man, and then he never could do it beyond the interim belt, and he fell off, and it's just gone. Even with Alex Pereira, with the light heavyweight belt, and he just lost to Ankalov not too long ago, and everyone thought he was a machine, he was invincible, and there's super fights, and he's moving up to heavyweight, and then he has a shitty performance, and it's just done, gone. Kamaru Usman, he was the #1 guy, he's this, he's that, he's pound for pound, he gets one head kick by Leon Edwards, it's gone. Who is he now? not me personally, but it's Conor McGregor, Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo's the best forever, never lost. He's a god. Conor McGregor knocks him out in 13 seconds. What do you remember? Right? You remember that. I mean, it's been some time since then, but you know what I mean? It's the exact same thing with the video games, man, with the video game industry, with life. You talk about Bungie being this core pillar of my life growing up, and it impacted everything. It was Star Wars and Halo, man. That did it. And then you look today, 2025, and it's like Bungie's dead. I mean, they've been dead for a long time, you know, once Destiny kind of plummeted, but you're just like, holy shit. Like, what happens? How does it go like this? And there's tons of other game companies. You know, I had the Making of Oblivion, that documentary with the young Todd Howard, and he's explaining how they're making Oblivion and all that, and talking about chess clubs. And then now look at Bethesda. You know, I love Bethesda, I love the games, but you know, Starfield comes out and it's not that good, this and that. Whole point to this is, before I start rambling and spiraling, because that happens, it's just my brain is in other areas. So some things that are simple, you know, nothing lasts forever, I'm not really thinking about that. And then something like this really puts it into perspective, and I figured I should make a video because of the impact that company and that game had on my life, you know, inadvertently on my dad's life, because when he was doing the Trojan series of armor, what was out then? Iron Man wasn't out yet. You had video games, right? And the biggest one at that time was Halo. And you had the Master Chief's Mjolnir armor. It was huge. Maybe I'm making a bigger deal about it than I should, but I feel like every single moment in my life, like, that's what I did. Again, it was the video game, so I can put a time and a place to, I don't know, these video games and these moments and E3 and G4, and then somehow all of that blended in with, you know, the highs and lows of living with the old man and just kind of getting strapped on for the ride. Oh God. Maybe I'm making a bigger deal about it than I should, but you know, every single moment of my life, I feel like I can put a time and place to video games and G4 and E3, and you know, there was significance to it. I think I still inadvertently kind of exist in that really strange headspace where now I have blended my own timeline and my own memories to these game companies and video game launches, and it's almost like, you know, how smells, they can bring you back, you know? It's like the same thing for video games with me, and it's been a really weird time lately because, well, like Oblivion is out, and that came out in what, 2005? So I'm gonna get like emotional about video games. That's not what it's supposed to be about, but I guess it means a lot to me. I can remember, and this is how it's like, it almost helps me remember my dad, like these stupid moments. So when the old man had money, he'd just shower me with gifts. It was crazy. So I was one of those kids, I was spoiled rotten. I just got an Xbox 360. You know, we had to deal with a lot of evictions and this and that and freaking homelessness and losing everything, but at the same time there was also equal parts loss. I also got a lot. I was a just lazy, awful kid. Anyway, so he gives me this 360, and one of the games that I got with it was Oblivion, and that just blew my mind, man. You know, you've got Halo at that time. We're still playing Halo 2 on the 360. We still got Xbox Live. I still remember going over to my cousin's house and staying up all night drinking Red Bulls, and just like I couldn't get enough of like being online and talking with people and shit talking them and playing Halo, and you're just, I don't know. That's something kids nowadays, that's how old I am. They'll just never understand, man, like the significance of it back then. Anyway, 2005, 2006, Oblivion. It's 2025 now, and here I am playing the game again, and the music, it's all taking me back. And this was a high point in our life. The old man was doing well in 2005. He was doing really well. I think Limbic was around then, Trojan, Fire Paste, Angel Light, Godlight, just a lot of interest and a lot of money. So, like, it just takes me back. Like, it's like I'm right there. I'm freaking, 12, 13 years old again. Playing Oblivion, playing Halo, so maybe that's what this is about. Yeah, I knew that I wanted to do a video, but I'm not reporting. I'm not just going to talk about, hey, Bungie's dead. But I think that's what I'm trying to get at, is that I don't think about it often anymore, in my 30s now. But every now and again, a video game, E3, these things will bring me back 15, 20 years. And it's not all good memories, but some are great. Just like these ones, you know what I mean? It brings me back, Bungie. And then you think, well, what does it mean to me? Why is it so impactful? And it's like, since 2001, I've been a part of Bungie. I remember my dad coming home that day. This was when Blockbuster was still there. So it's just me and my cousin. We're just hanging out, got the Xbox original. And he rented the game. So go check this out, boy. This guy looks cool. It's the Combat Evolves. The Chief's got his, the MA5B or whatever. And he's looking right at the... he's looking at you, and he just got it. And he's like, I was so young. I thought like his name was Halo. I mean, you know what I mean? I was like, what, 10? I was old enough, but it's like, that's who I thought was it. Anyway, so since that moment, we were in it. I can tie it all together. It's like these two unrelated things, like my father and growing up, and then video game companies, E3, TV shows. It's like smashed together. You know what I mean? It's blended. It's weird. And it's not something that I ever thought would be significant. Ever. Because why would it be? But then you have a day like today where you're like, hey man, Bungie's, get some news, and then you just go down this rabbit hole. I tell you, man, what can you say?